These are capital cursive letters that begin with a straight line down. And this is a straight line that we're going to trace back up, as you'll see. We're going to start up here at the line above, or just below the line above, pull straight down, and then trace it straight back up. So for P, we're going to start here, trace down to the baseline, or trace back up, and then right about here, at 10 o'clock, we're going to curve around, make a loop, and then stop. And you will have to pick up your pencil after you do a capital cursive P, capital uppercase cursive P. Same thing here, we're going to trace around, straight down, trace back up, and then make your loop. Straight down, straight up, make a loop. Straight down, trace back up, and then make the loop. It's very much the same as a print capital P. Alright, and then we get a chance to make our own. Make sure that you're tracing this line and it doesn't get, extra stuff in it. Make sure it sits on the baseline. Okay. Now R is exactly the same, except when you get here, it has the extra part that goes out and then down. So straight down, straight up, make your loop, and then go out and down. Practice slowly until you can make it nice and neat. Teach your hands that muscle movement. It is all new for them. You might have been looking at cursive for a long time, but your hand hasn't spent a lot of time making cursive. Just think of your brain having to teach your hand which way to go, how far to go. Be patient with yourself. Remember, you have this line down here. Use it for practice. Okay. Alright. B is about the same as the R. It's the same as the P to this point, and then it comes out, and it's going to curve back around. The new thing is, when we are over here at 8, it's going to curve back out to 4 and end with a small upswing, just like a lowercase s might. So, down to the baseline, up, oops, make your loop, make your other loop, and curve back out. Now you'll see that I didn't do a good job tracing my straight line. Let's try that again. Okay. We've done a better job sitting on the baseline. Keep practicing. Look at your letters. See what you could have done better. What do you need to think about? I always recommend using a sharp pencil to do this. I'm using a rather dull pencil. I'm having to push down really hard and it's making my hand tired. I haven't plugged my pencil sharpener in, so I'm really low on sharp pencils, and I happen to find a couple that were still sharp. There we go, so much easier. Whose name starts with a B? I have lots of kids whose last names start with a B. Shamari does have a B in her last name. And Rain has a capital B, and Malachi. And Billy or Beatrice. Beth. Sorry, it took me a minute to think of another name. All right. Okay. Keep practicing your B's. The letter D. This one's pretty different. We're going to go down to the baseline, but from here, we're only going to trace up just a little bit. Do you see that it stops right here? And then we're going to go out and curve down. Come back up here, and then we're going to stop and pick up our pencil. So watch me. Down, trace up just a little bit, and then we're going to go slanted out, and we're going to curve back up to the top to make a capital D. And then we're going to pick our pencil up. So take your time. D is for David, Dylan, Diana, Donna. I don't think we have any Donnas this year. Daisy. Make sure you're not going back up too high. Keep that space pretty small. And make sure you're tracing it so there's not a bunch of extra lines down there. Alright, you might want to break from your D's. So the U is pretty easy. It's just like a print U, except it has a short upswing at the end. Go down, go back up, trace straight down, end with a small upswing. Even though we know it, we're still going to practice it just to make sure we have it as neat as we can get it. Since we're just getting back into the swing of school after being home for a really long time, some of our hand muscles, we haven't been doing a lot of handwriting, so our hands are not as strong and exact as they were. I get them back into shape. Alright, and then the Y is just like a lowercase cursive y, but taller. Remember to cross your Y at the baseline, not any lower. There are 26 letters, and you've learned all the lowercase ones, and after this you will have learned 12 of the capital ones. So we only have 14 capital letters left. Alright, our places for today. We have Puerto Rico, which is a territory of the United States. It's part of the United States. It's an island south of the United States in the Caribbean Sea. Puerto means port, and Rico means rich, or riches. Oh, I started to write rich, and I said we weren't going to erase, but I am going to erase that. Rico. Puerto Rico. So your P does not connect. If it connected, it sure would look just like an R, wouldn't it? Right? For B, we have the city of Boston. Boston is a city in Massachusetts, which is in the northeast part of the United States. So the B is going to come back out here, and it's going to connect. Remember, we have to go up and over curve on our O and back around. Another dip, straight down, curve from 4 to 8 and 8 to 4. T, over the top for O, and the letter N, Boston. We'll do it, we have room to do it one more time. B, O, S, T, O, N. Okay. Next we have Delaware. Delaware is the second smallest state. It's just north of Washington, D.C. and it's shaped like this. It kind of looks like an L that got filled in. If you had to draw Delaware, I think that's a pretty good one. And it's funny because the shape of it kind of looks like a capital D that got smushed. D, pick up your pencil. E, L, A, W, A, R, E. Delaware. The capital of Delaware is Dover, which also starts with a capital D. Alright, and Utah. And while we're drawing states, I'm going to show off and I'm going to draw Utah because it is easy to draw. It looks like that. It's really big though. Delaware is a tiny state. Utah is a very big state. It's in the west part of the United States and has a lot of deserts and there are beautiful rock formations there. But it also has lakes and a big city. Utah. The U connects to the next letter. Utah. I believe that Utah was named for the Native Americans who lived there, and their tribe was called the Utes. Utah. Alright, that's the end of our letters that begin with a straight line down. So next we're going to start on our letters that begin with a dip at the top. So you have that to look forward to next time. Bye everybody.